Hello and a warm welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I am Ifoma Ojintan. President Muhammadu Buhari has departed Abuja on a state visit to Spain at the invitation of the Spanish President Pedro Sanchez. A statement by the Special Advisor, Media and Publicity to the President, Femi Adesina, indicates that during the official visit by President Muhammadu Buhari, issues of mutual interest will be discussed, leading to the signing of agreements on enhancing bilateral relations. The President will also be the special guest at an investment forum jointly organized by the Spanish Chamber of Commerce, the Ministry of Trade and the Confederation of Employers, where he will speak on the investment opportunities available in Nigeria. The President is also expected to meet King Felipe VI of Spain. He is expected back in the country on Friday, June 3rd. Governors of the All Progressives Congress have been charged to ensure that the forthcoming national convention to pick a presidential candidate reflects on the values and virtues of the governing party. President Muhammadu Buhari, who threw the challenge at a crucial meeting with the governors, insists that the positive qualities of the APC must come to play at the convention. State House correspondent the Musambo reports that all the 22 progressive governors, except that of Kaduna, represented by his deputy and the national chairman of the party, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, attended the meeting. The president, who noted that the most successful political parties globally always relied on their internal cohesion and a strong leadership brand to achieve bigger electoral fortunes, said the APC shall not be any different. He said even as the governing party continues to implement the blueprint for a more prosperous nation, it is a compelling necessity on his part to provide stronger leadership to the party towards guaranteeing an orderly transition process. President Buhari promised to ensure that the APC remains strong, united and formidable to not only retain power at the center, but also hold the great majority in various legislative chambers, as well as gain additional number of states. The president appealed to all the governors to, amongst others, allow their interests to converge, remain focused on the changing dynamics of the environment, the expectations of Nigerians and the global community. He said their overall objective must be the victory of the governing party, and therefore the choice of candidates must be someone who would give the Nigerian masses a sense of victory and confidence even before the elections. The chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, Atiku Bagudu of Kebbi State, said the party must build on the successes of its recent elective convention and the primaries conducted so far and come up with a candidate who will walk in the footsteps of patriotism and love for the country. He pledged that the APC governors will support the president to have a very successful convention next week. Meanwhile, screening of presidential aspirants for New Nigeria People's Party (NNPP) is ongoing in Abuja. Let's now join David Ire live for more updates from the National Secretariat of the party. Hello, David. What is the situation over there?
Franca, just one presidential aspirant, and he's also the senator representing Kano Central Senatorial District. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso is the only aspirant for the presidency as far as the New Nigeria People's Party is concerned. And It's good to have you, distinguished senator.
Thank you very much.
By virtue of your position, you have been screening people. Now you are screened. How does it look like?
Well, I feel very happy that I faced some very credible Nigerians. They asked as many questions as they could. And I'm so happy that this is not the first time I'm being screened, even as a contestant. In the last 30 years, that is from 1992 to date, I have gone through election 17 times. This is the 17th election I'm going in, both primary and secondary elections. So I'm very happy today, the 31st of this month, here at the NPP headquarters. I'm so happy, and I believe it's an opportunity for me also to thank all Nigerians for identifying with our party, the NNPP. I appeal to all Nigerians to continue to support our party, the NNPP, especially those who believe, like me, that there is need for the change of the political direction in this country.
Yeah, but another key thing is that you are the only aspirant, so there is not likely to be any issue with the primaries. But looking at the candidates that are already emerging from various political parties ahead of the general election, are you disturbed about the fame of Musa Kwankwaso?
No, not at all. We know ourselves, and Nigerians know all of us. I can assure you that most Nigerians have made up their minds on what they do, on the parties that have already produced their candidates, even those who are yet to produce their candidates. Those who believe in new Nigeria, I believe, must have joined the NNPP or are warming up to join our party.
Thank you very much. I think Professor Kali will have much to say, but no, Prof, you will still have to talk to chairman of the party. It's a harvest of new members and all that. How do you feel?
Well, to have a man and a person of integrity, a man of patriotism, a man who is dedicated to salvaging this country, a man who has served virtually every capacity in this country, a man who has touched the lives of millions of Nigerians. If that person can be our presidential candidate in this party, I think our job is done.
Yes, thank you very much, Franca. Yes, that will be all for now. The convention of the party will be coming up on the 8th of next month. Studio.
Thank you very much, David. Now, it's few months to the general election, and internal conflicts have remained a concern in most Nigerian communities. Changing this narrative has become of urgent importance, and the Institute for Conflict Resolution is having a one-day seminar in Abuja to set agenda for a new Nigeria. Ekene Ndulwe reports.
All across the country, several subnationals are expressing various underlying grievances, and oftentimes these escalate into violent agitations.
The governments in question are
Dr. Ozonia Ojelu, a United Nations diplomat, is saying security-driven approach is only one aspect of the solution, and there is need for increased use of early prevention mechanisms.
If it is true that violence is threatened, you do preventive deployment. We must prevent the violence from occurring. It is no longer enough. It is not acceptable that violence occurs, and then we say to the community, we condone you.
For the expert, peace building in Nigeria should encompass social cohesion, diversified economy, peaceful resolutions, and reconciliation.
If the citizens are not carried along, whatever government is doing or what we are doing, we're wasting our time. So we have to get the citizens to know and accept the fact that we need to build peace in this country.
It is the expectation of the organizers that this will not end as another talk shop, but will set a new agenda for the next administration, one built on renewed hope for a better Nigeria. Ekene Ndulwe, NTA News.
The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has granted bail to the former governor of Imo State, Rochas Okorocha, to the tune of 500 million naira and a surety in like sum. Justice Inyang Ekwo gave the order while delivering a ruling on the bail application of the defendants in the matter. Dele Atumbi reports.
Rochas Okorocha, Anyim Yerere, and 5 others are the defendants in the 3.1 billion naira alleged fraud preferred against them by the EFCC. Okorocha and 6 others are facing trial on 17-count charge, bordering on conspiracy, stealing, and conversion of public funds and money laundering. After due consideration of the arguments and counter-arguments by the counsel to both defendants and the prosecution on the bail applications of the defendants, the court granted them bail. Apart from Okorocha providing a surety to the sum of 500 million naira, Okorocha is equally expected to deposit his traveling documents with the registry of the court. During the trial, the defendant cannot travel out of Nigeria without due notice and approval of the court. The court ordered that Okorocha's surety must have a property in Abuja not below 500 million naira, and the original title documents of the property must be deposited with the court registrar. Justice Inyang Ekwo also ordered that immigration must be alerted in writing by the court registrar that Okorocha's traveling passport is with the court and as such must not be allowed to move out of the country. The court also granted bail to the second defendant in the matter, Anyim Yerere, on the terms of the administrative bail granted him by the EFCC.
The client is a notable serving senator, so the idea of running away is ruled out. He will fulfill the condition. He has never run away. Only that, like I said yesterday, he was never properly served.
The court was of the view that the second defendant has never defaulted in the administrative bail granted to him, and throughout the proceedings of this case, he has never absented himself.
Justice Ekwo finally ordered that Okorocha should remain in the custody of the FCC until the bail conditions are met. The case has been adjourned to November 2022 for commencement of trial. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
In the meantime, some former legislators have reiterated the need for training of lawmakers to equip them for their role in ensuring good governance in the political process. Discussing the legislature in 23 years of Nigeria's unbroken civil rule, on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria, the electorate will also urge to elect people with proven integrity and interest in public welfare into the legislature. Ekemini Williams has the details.
The legislature in the past 23 years has been a critical player in Nigeria's democracy. As the elected representatives of the people with immense powers of lawmaking, its record is said to be a mixed bag, with discussants acknowledging some milestones worth celebrating, while expressing concerns about some of the less salutary roles and actions of the legislature in the governance process. They alleged hasty passage of laws, conflict of interest with the executive arm of government, and questioned the character of some of the persons elected as legislators.
One of the clauses that they forgot to insert was the clause that has to do with statutory delegates. Today, we woke up to a situation where the president of the country is not a delegate to elect who his presidential candidate is going to be, who his governor is going to be in his state, his senator or House Representative or House Assembly member. The members of the legislature themselves have shot themselves in the foot. They are all not, voters or delegates at the convention. So they are not statutory delegates. Governors are not delegates. This is the height of, if you like, the lack of diligence.
If you look at the 4th, 5th, and to some extent the 6th Assembly, and I refer to the quality of debates, you will see it's distinguished, and I'll use that word, advisedly now. Stand up and speak for 5-10 minutes. The oratory, the power of delivery, the articulation. You would love to listen to parliamentary debates. Do you see that these days anymore? The power of the gavel these days is not thought fully utilized. So, the presiding officer says those in favor of this say aye, before the other side says no, the garbage is gone.
To address some of these concerns, the discussants suggested intense training for the legislators and legislative staff, as well as ensuring enhanced personal discipline among legislators.
We need to practice federalism, which we have adopted, which we have chosen.
They also advised the electorate to be more discerning in choosing their representatives by placing emphasis on character, experience, and capacity. In Abuja, Ikemini Williams, NTA News.
As the 2023 general elections draw near, media practitioners have been advised to always verify the source of their information, avoid sensationalism, and base their opinions on facts to engender sustainable development in Nigeria. A professor of political economy and management, Pat Utomi, said this in Abeokuta during the celebration of the 2022 World Communications Day. Yemi Dalemo reports.
Speaking on the theme of this year's World Communications Day celebration, Journalism of Empathy in a Troubled Nation, Professor Pat Utomi says media practitioners are torchbearers to point the light for people, hence they should ensure that the interests of the society reigns supreme above any other interest. He advised the practitioners to continue to play central role in setting and shaping the public agenda.
It's the ability to learn to centralize in recognition that media affects culture and culture shapes human progress. That's some fundamental values being communicated.
In his contribution, the Catholic Bishop of Abeokuta Diocese, Most Reverend Peter Odetoyinbo, says issue-based reportage capable of promoting peace and unity of Nigeria remains the clarion call for media practitioner.
To remind everyone, more importantly, church ministers and communicators, the essence and the importance of promoting the means of social communication.
Be mindful of what to put, what to write, what to broadcast, such that we'll make sure our country remains.
The World Communications Day is an annual celebration that encourages anyone to reflect on the opportunity and challenges of the modern means of social communications. In Abeokuta, Yemi Dalemo, NTA News.
Nigeria and Namibia are utilizing their diplomatic struggle and relations to elaborate a mutually beneficial project for development aspirations among people of the two nations. The two countries, as explained by Namibian High Commissioner to Nigeria, Humphrey Kaseb, need to get into better deals to open up opportunities in trade, production, energy, oil and gas. While expressing optimism about the ideals of the Nigerian-Namibia Joint Commission, the envoy added that Namibia is committed for the actualization of various bilateral agreements.
Nigeria has played a prominent role in the OAU Liberation Committee, and that through the efforts of the Liberation Committee, Namibia and the people of Namibia receive substantial support as well as solidarity from the rest of the world.
Desk correspondent Usman Aliyu reports that Nigeria and Namibia have maintained a strong relationship since the 1960s. And Hingino is in our Lagos Network Center with more reports on Nationwide. Over to you, Hingino.
Thank you, Ifoma. The Accord Party has nominated members for various positions to contest in the 2023 elections. Annie Daniels reports that the nomination was at the party's primaries held in Lagos.
Unlike what obtained in other party primaries, Accord Party had its primaries indoors.
Because we don't want people to come and disturb. We don't want people to disturb so that we can do all what we want to do peacefully.
There are other primaries going on simultaneously in all the 13 constituency, in all the 23 constituency. So we just concentrate. Those people that are finished, that can come. Those are the people here.
At the end, Party Faithful nominated candidates for House of Assembly, House of Representatives, and the Senate. Honorable Hakeem Olaogu Dixon emerged the party's Lagos State governorship candidate.
I want to take it over with this Accord Party and hand over to the youth. But the youth cannot be able to do it by themselves. They need somebody who will be able to put them through training, through seminars, workshops, and see how they can be able to deal with House of Assembly, how to deal with people on top.
In other countries, the young ones are going into tech. So right now, it is high time we are able to pass some bills. Right now, we are able to make sure that, yes, the youth are able to take charge, not only in politics, but also in every sector of the economy.
Like the name, Accord Party nominated candidates and Faithful promised Lagosians a better and sustainable Lagos if the party is given the mandate to pilot the affairs of the state come 2023. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
A distressed two-story building at number 64 Glover Street, Ebutemeta, Lagos, has been demolished by Lagos State government as part of ongoing efforts to check growing cases of collapsed buildings in the state. Adeni Itai will complete the report.
This is number 64 Glover Street, Ebutemeta, Lagos, before the caterpillar came calling. Taken over by flood, with several sections already caving in, it was obviously distressed, explaining why it was marked for demolition by Lagos State Building Control Agency, LAFSCA. But despite an evacuation notice dated May 9, 2022, these remaining occupants of the building did not budge until the last minute. Then, man and machine united in battle against the distressed building for a controlled demolition in line with the state government's mandate on safety.
There is also the duty of care on us as residents in the neighborhood to make government aware of buildings that are distressed. Because the fact remains that these things may not only affect the people residing in it.
An adjoining building still under construction has also been sealed by the agency.
All identified distressed buildings will be brought down. The resources we are having, we are deploying them as best as we can, using our discretion and making sure we are attending to every situation.
In the last 1 month, this is the 13th distressed building to be demolished by the agency in what the enforcement team described as a preemptive campaign to check wanton loss of lives under the rubble of collapsed building. In May 2022 alone, not less than 14 people died in collapsed buildings in Ebutemeta and other parts of the state. In Lagos, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and our other social media handles for updates. Nationwide continues in Abuja after these messages.
Welcome back. The National Orientation Agency, NOA, in partnership with the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, has commenced a nationwide public enlightenment campaign on the need for citizens to pay their taxes. Director General NOA, Gadba Abari, made this known at a media conference in Abuja. Kenneth Nanim reports.
In the face of global dwindling economic situation comes the need for adequate revenue mobilization in order to provide the required developmental infrastructure. To this end, the federal government is embarking on an intensive sensitization of citizenry on the need to pay taxes. The FRS is therefore leveraging the widespread of the National Orientation Agency's offices nationwide to educate the public on the dangers of tax evasion.
There is the need, therefore, for citizens to have a reorientation on how they see taxes. That is, to understand that taxes are not forced collections by the government, but instead contributions citizens make towards the development of their country.
It is important for individuals and organizations to acquaint themselves with the obligations of the taxpayer. The National Orientation Agency will work with the FIRS to produce flyers carrying this information so that it is at the reach of every Nigerian who falls within the tax payment bracket.
The FRS is also taking advantage of the partnership with National Orientation Agency to identify challenges being faced by taxpayers, especially those in the private sector, with a view to solving them. Kenneth Nani, NTA News.
Nigeria's Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Issa Ali Pantami, is chairing the ongoing World Summit on the Information Society, WSIS. The summit, attended by more than 100 countries, has as its theme ICTs for Well-being, Inclusion and Resilience, WSIS Cooperation for Accelerating Progress on the Sustainable Development Goals. Professor Pantami called for more support and monitoring of technological development through multi-stakeholder partnerships among institutions and global economies, as it is the enabling tool for global economic prosperity and development. Nigeria's minister pointed out how technology enabled the world carry on activities, especially the business of governance during the coronavirus pandemic. Using Nigeria as a case study, the forum chairman disclosed that Nigeria exited the recession brought about by the pandemic a year earlier than predicted, ahead of several other countries due to the influence of technologies. In the last quarter of 2020, the Nigerian ICT sector grew by 14.70% and 12.90%. Now, for more on Nationwide, we now go over to our Enugu Network Center.
And welcome to Enugu. The National Population Commission is leaving no stone unturned in ensuring that the results of the 2023 population census are acceptable to Nigerians and the quality of the data to be generated meets international best practices for planning and developmental purposes. The Executive Chairman, National Population Commission, Nasir Isakwara, was speaking while declaring the second level management workshop of the Commission open in Enugu. Eukaria Ugu reports.
The 5-day workshop, which is being held in all the 6 geopolitical zones simultaneously, is aimed at training the management staff of the Commission in local governments and states on how to conduct computer-based census and also to get them acquainted with the intricacies of e-census. Declaring the workshop open, the Executive Chairman, National Population Commission, represented by the Federal Commissioner, Mr. Ejikeze, reiterated the readiness of the Commission to ensure that the Commission delivers credible and reliable 2023 population and housing census.
It is imperative that the Commission staff should be adequately trained for the population and housing census and management of census activity.
In their separate speeches, the Zonal Coordinator, National Population Commission Southeast Zone, Mrs. Sekutos Elibe, and the State Director, National Population Commission Enugu State, Mrs. Ngozi Onya, opined that the workshop will enhance technical and managerial capacity and skills of the participants.
Able to impart the best knowledge and best practices that will lead us to successful 2023 digital census.
We now move down and domesticate this training to our HOD that are not here, and then we move down to the various towns in the 5 zones and also train them on what we have learned here.
In Enugu, Eukaria Ugu, NTA News.
Parents have been called upon to uphold the tenets of good child upbringing by dedicating more time for their children to understand them better and reinstate societal norms. This was contained in a message delivered by the acting zonal director, NTA Enugu Network Center, to mark the 2022 Children's Day celebration. Comfort Oim has details. Enugu State were celebrated by NTA Enugu Network Center as part of activities marking this year's Children's Day celebration. The children, drawn from various schools within and outside Enugu, showcased their talent. Special guest of honor and mother of the day, Dr. Usinachi Okechukwu, emphasized the need for children to be nurtured properly to ensure a better future.
When we talk of tomorrow, when we talk of future, we think of you, the children. You see, I just appointed the governor of Enugu State, right? One day, somebody among you will be the governor of Enugu State.
Acting Zonal Director, NTA Enugu Network Center, Mrs. Francesca Nwogbe, described children as gifts from God, hence the need to celebrate them. Parents and pupils could not hide their joy. The theme for 2022 Children's Day celebration is a better future for every child. In Enugu, Comfort Ayin, NT News. And that's it from here. It's back to Ifoma in Abuja for a continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you very much, Mina. King Felipe and Queen Letizia of Spain have sent condolences to President Muhammadu Buhari on the recent tragedy in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. A statement by Special Advisor to the President, Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, indicates that the Spanish monarch and his queen conveyed the condolences of the Spanish people to President Buhari and the Nigerian people over the loss of lives. The monarch also extends Spain's solidarity to the families of the deceased with prayers for the quick recovery of those injured in the incident. And to security matters, the Nigerian army has reacted to a misleading news insinuating that Nigerian villages were attacked by Cameroonian Ambazonian separatists on 29 May 2022. A statement by the Director, Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu says, contrary to the misinformation, on troops deployed at Danare received a distress report on Sunday morning about the said attack, immediately mobilized to Bashu community, which was allegedly under attack. On their arrival, it was discovered that the information was false, as Bashu was not under attack and no external incursion was recorded. Rather, the separatists attacked Obonyi 2 and Njesha communities located in the Republic of Cameroon. 4 victims of the attack who crossed over to Nigerian territory were later rescued by Nigerian troops and operatives of Nigerian Immigration Services. The statement stressed that the incident was not in Nigerian territory as falsely reported and urged the public to disregard the unsubstantiated information. Meanwhile, troops of the Multinational Joint Task Force, MNJTF, have eliminated 25 terrorists in Tumbun-Rago, Tumbun-Dila and Jamina settlements in the Lake Chad. In a statement, the Chief of Public Information, MNJTF Headquarters in Jamani, Chad, says the criminals were eliminated during a ground and air assault on the terrorists' hideouts. Similarly, MNJTF troops have arrested a high-ranking Boko Haram and ISWAP commander in Damasak, Borno State. The commander was said to have escaped from their criminal camp due to the intensity of ongoing military operations in the area. Several weapons were recovered from the clearance operation. We now take a break. Nationwide continues in a moment.
We're glad to have you join us on Nationwide. Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Umar Zulum has harped on the need for government to establish institutional framework that will guide the conduct of fatwa in the country. The governor made the call at the closing ceremony of a 2-day seminar with the theme, The Role of Fatwa in Sustaining Peace and Stability, organized by the Indimi Islamic Trust Center, held in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. Mohammed Goni completes the story.
Organizers of the seminar believe that emergence of social media has enabled individuals to publicize whatever they want in a blink of eyes, thereby creating myriads of situations in society, mainly through misinformation, especially about matters of religious conviction. Issuance of fatwa is abused by some individuals who assume scholarship role, causing diverse crises, leading to instability and conflict. Hence, in the Mitras Islamic Center, deemed it necessary to organize the seminar to propose solutions. Governor Zulum, who highlighted the importance of the seminar, said, "There is no better time than now for holding such a seminar in the state."
One of the most important reasons why we have this I think this is something that we need to understand. The part of our opinion handed down by the finance scholar about an aspect of Islam.
The governor also disclosed the resolve of the state government to strengthen the Borno State Islamic Preaching Board and assure the organizers that the state government will study the communique of the seminar and give its support where necessary, including tabling relevant recommendations to the Northeast Governors Forum. A number of position papers were presented by notable Islamic scholars on a wide range of issues pertaining to issuance of fatwa, while the 18-point communique issued at the end of the two-day seminar made far-reaching recommendations on ways to regulate issuance of fatwa. The seminar was attended by top Islamic clerics in Maiduguri. Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
Away from activities within Maiduguri, the Borno State capital now, Zulum was in Ran, headquarters of Kalabalge local government, an area bordering Cameroon Republic, where he commiserated with mourning communities and families of 30 metal scavengers killed by Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorists recently. While in the remote location in the hinterland, the governor gave notice to officials to reopen the newly constructed hospital, school, and provision of other basic amenities. Here again is Mohammed Goni with the rest of the story.
32 persons from Kalabalge were ambushed at a deserted Mudu village in the Kwalakal government area located about 45 kilometers from Ran and were believed to have been shot at close range. Governor Zulum, whose visit to the remote Kalabalge was the 7th in 3 years, sympathized with community members and urged residents to desist from going to deserted villages, especially to scavenge for metal because insurgents are engaged in searching for the same materials and can lay ambush.
We are here to commiserate with the families of the deceased. Apart from this, we use the opportunity to examine the progress of works that are ongoing in this town.
Professor Babagana Umar Azlam, during the visit, held meeting with Captain Mohammed Haruna Jibrin, the military's commanding officer in Kalabalge, in line with his policy during visit to local government areas to discuss and identify gaps in security arrangements for the purpose of strength. As part of his visit to the area, the governor inspected essential public facilities and announced 100% increase in salaries for health personnel resident in Ran General Hospital and further assured that there should be a routine shift to allow them visit their families. Dismayed by lack of basic amenities in Ran, he also gave 2-month deadline for reopening of the completed hospital and schools, as well as completion of any ongoing project in Ran, headquarters of Kalabalge. However, assured him that they will soon complete structures that have reached advanced stages. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
And those are the latest stories at this time from Maiduguri. Let us at this point return to Ifoma in Abuja for more reports for us this evening. Ifoma.
Thank you very much, Abubakar. Now, the federal government is set to put a total ban on the exportation of raw hides and skins, including leather. The government says it will also ban the importation of finished leather products. This came to the fore as the Minister of Agriculture, Muhammad Mahmoud Abubakar, meets with the National Steering Committee on Strategic Implementation of Leather Policy in Abuja. Musa Babaliu reports.
These locally produced pairs of shoes introduced to the Minister of Agriculture, Muhammad Mahmoud Abubakar. He rated it as among the best in the world.
Real leather, you can see that. There's nothing Nigeria cannot do, nothing.
And this is why government is pushing to implement 2 major policies. First is to restrict importation of finished leather products, and the second one is to ban export of raw hides and skin. Professor Muhammad Kabiru Yakubu is the chairman, National Steering Committee of Implementation Plan on Leather. He is here to brief the minister on how Nigerian leather industry will prosper if the two policies are implemented.
We want to ensure that we stop the exportation of anything leather from Nigeria, even fully finished leather. We want a situation whereby we only export products from leather. Just the last quarter of last year, when we started implementing this policy, Nigeria netted about $650 million.
As important as leather industry is to our national economy, it has been bedeviled with challenges leading to a declining contribution to the national GDP. Consequently, a steering committee comprising the relevant stakeholders from different ministries, departments, and agencies was set up and developed a strategic implementation plan that was launched on the 6th of July 2021.
The current market analysis of the global leather market is put at $394 billion, and Nigeria is hoping to scoop at least $1 billion from it. Musa Ali, NTA News.
It is the desire of every farmer at the onset of rainfall to plant some crops and tubers with full hope of a bumper harvest. But actualizing this bumper harvest remains a big challenge to farmers, including those in Benue State. Godwin Inalego in this report examines the prospects and challenges ahead of farmers in Benue State as farming activities heightened.
With the early onset of rainfall this year, the farmers expressed the hope for high production of food for the country. The farmers, however, say they are constrained by their inability to access farm inputs at the right time because of the high cost.
I don't like it because of the rain. Now we are farming so that our crops will grow and we can make use of it.
If the government can give us a helping hand with fertilizer or spraying herbicides.
Director, Agricultural Services, Benue State Ministry for Agriculture and Natural Resources, Thomas Nungo says efforts are on top gear by the state government to procure farm inputs such as fertilizer and chemicals for farmers at subsidized rates.
Maize varieties that are supposed to mature within 2 to 3 months are now available for our farmers because of the shortage of rains we are having. The same thing with rice.
The Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, had predicted April 2022 as onset of rainfall and October as its cessation. If the prediction by NIMET is anything to go by, then there is high prediction for bumper harvest this year. In Makudi, Godwin Inalebu, NTA News.
Cross River State government has debunked reports of active cases of monkeypox in the state. The Director General, Cross River State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Janet Epenyong, made the clarification while reacting to the latest reports by the Nigerian Center for Disease Control of 21 cases of the virus in the country, with Cross River State recording 2 cases. Maureen Leo Ajom reports.
Nigeria Center for Disease Control latest update on confirmed cases of monkeypox and listed Cross River State as recording 2 cases among the 21 cases of monkeypox recorded in the country. Curious to ascertain the status of the disease in the state, the Cross River State Primary Healthcare Development Agency says there is currently no case of monkeypox in the state.
Currently in Cross River State, we do not have any positive case or active case of monkeypox. However, we know that monkeypox is already in a lot of countries currently, and of course some other states in Nigeria had also recorded cases of monkeypox, but we are not also waiting until we begin to record positive cases. We have already commenced sensitization across the states.
The Director General of the agency, however, disclosed that 2 cases were detected in February and were properly managed by the state government. Reiterating that there was no active case of monkeypox in any part of the state, she notes that there is a well-constituted health awareness and sensitization team on ground, while the state government is ready to dictate and manage any related cases. She, however, enjoined residents to take necessary precautionary measures to ensure a pandemic-free state. In Calabar, Maureen Leo Ajom, NTA News.
The final journey to complete automation of operations of the Nigeria Customs Service has begun with the signing of modernization project concession agreements in Abuja. The Comptroller General of the service, Hamid Ali, disclosed that Nigeria will earn $176 billion within the concessioning period. Kunle Adeyeye reports.
With the dotted lines signed, manual operations will soon become history at customs entry points. Customs is already elated with the benefits of the 20-year plan.
Human factor, which is one of our pain in the course of doing business, will now be removed. And doing that will not only enhance the process, but also sanitize the process. By the time we fully implement this project, minimum we will be making for this country will be about $176 billion.
For various partners involved in the agreement, Nigeria is displaying readiness for global trade, which will eventually ease export and simplify import matters.
ICRC, who is statutory charged with the responsibility, will keep on monitoring the program and ensure that both parties abide by the terms and conditions of the agreement.
We've put implementation process in place. We are setting up a small subcommittee consisting of Nigerian Customs Service, who are we, and we have the finance in place, which is very important.
We're committed to the project. We want to make sure that all deliverables that can be complete.
The Federal Executive Council gave approval for full automation of Nigeria Customs Service on September 2, 2020. The Comptroller General, however, allayed fears that the automation will slash the workforce, insisting that the service is in need of more hands. Kunle Adeyeye, NTA News.
Olumide Eguntola is our guide on sports updates. Now, before we go, let's take this message.
The barbers and the rest of the people, they are enjoying the life. The life is all over the places.
Budgets are now prepared on the GIFMIS system.
The money essentially is redistributed around the community. That's how prosperity is created through infrastructure.
The Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, presents a documentary series on 7 years of the Buhari administration. Infrastructure, economy, science, technology and innovation, transportation, power and agriculture. The journey and the future. Join us on the network service.
And that concludes Nationwide for today. We thank you so much for watching.